Hi, this is Jim Van Gelder with a quick lesson on tree anatomy. Trees have anatomy just like people or animals, and if you learn a bit about it, it will make your drawings much more realistic, and you may actually learn something about the way trees grow. These were all done from photographs I took locally. It's better if you work from life. I have other pages like this that I've done from life, but for this demonstration I worked from some photos. It's a great way to sharpen the eye and learn about the differences between trees and how to represent them. Winter is a really good time to start doing this for deciduous trees because the leaves are gone and you can see the basic shape of the trees, or find a conifer like this one, which really didn't have much in the way of leaves left on it. It's always good with this to do a whole page. That's the way I like to do this. You compare, you contrast, and you can figure that the differences between the trees make when you do a bunch of them together, it makes the differences stand out. The idea of this is not to do complete finished works of art. They're learning tools, so simple diagrams are good. These are a couple of the ways deciduous trees grow. These are a couple of the ways that conifers grow. Some of them, the branches mostly point up. Some, like this spruce, they start out pointing up and then they kind of sweep down towards the bottom. Okay, we work from, at least in this instance, I worked from kind of a cartoon tree, your basic lollipop or pyramid Christmas tree, and kind of refine it into a more realistic tree shape. I'm going to do a little demonstration of that later in part 2. Simple diagrams are good. So for the most part, I've just done the outline. This one I kind of filled in a bit, but start them all with a simple outline, indicate the trunk. I started with the outline of the shape of the foliage or the outside of the tree first on these. You can kind of go either way, but I think for this particular exercise, it's better to work from the foliage out. And if you're doing like a line of trees growing in a forest somewhere, you'll want to work from the outside of the trees and indicate where the trunks are later. Always good to add a few sky holes. Wherever you can see beyond the tree to whatever's behind it is going to make your tree look much more realistic. You generally only need a few of these. Only indicate the major ones. You don't have to get too fussy. So I started with the outline on these, then I indicated where the trunks and where the trunk was and the major branches. It's always good with conifers to really pay attention to where that main line of the trunk goes. Due to the phenomenon of closure, your eye will fill in whatever isn't indicated. So if you get a sky hole where the trunk is supposed to be, or cut through, the branches and don't show the trunk in its proper place, it will not look right, especially with a conifer tree. I have a bad habit of missing that particular spot and ending up in trouble. So I'm going to conclude this for now. Try these at home. But remember, don't do just one. Do a whole page. Do a couple of pages. You'll learn a lot more that way.